From the start, are you sure, Mr. Tshabangu? Ladies and gentlemen, it is such an honor to see this young man. To me, he'll always be a young man because I've met him when he was still wearing his school uniform at Zinikelen Secondary School in Carolina. And little did we know that a giant lies within this young man. And one thing that I look back and I said, I'm not surprised when I see what you people see. I saw a lot from the beginning during his varsity days. He has always been a trendsetter. Every time when he comes back home, the first time he came back home, he had towels in the back pocket of his jeans. He came to visit me all the time. When he comes back, he will come to my office and visit me. And I said, by then I preferred Mudau than Brandon. Hey, Mudau. And now the towels, you forgot them in the pocket. He said, no, I just started this style and everybody in Pretoria is copying this. And from that moment, I saw something in this young man, that there is something greater in him. How do you have such a humble young man from humble beginnings, and he goes out to a big city, big town like Pretoria, and he starts something that people will think, are you mad? But he started that, and people follow the trend. We honor you, we humble ourselves for your achievement. When you told me you'll be having this gathering, you said to me, big brother, I know you have been in it for more than 10 years. It's about 21 years. I started 1998. The things that worries me, not worries me per se, but is when I look back at his life, I see myself in him. Because his history and my history are one and the same. Growing up through tough beginnings, working as garden boys, and there's so much that it can take the whole day for me to go through what we went through. But I want to say this because I said, I don't know what am I going to talk about. Probably you're going to have a lot of your business associates there. I probably wouldn't even know. I just want to shake their hands and go home and never wash my hand for the week, knowing what transaction probably goes through their hands. What do you say? What do I say in front of such a group of people? But then again, I said, God, I believe and I trust that you will guide me on what I need to say. How do you say something to inspire people, even those who have seen it, even those who have been in business for 20, 30, 40 years? If we do things the way that I always like to do things, every day it's a learning day. I want to learn every single day. And I hope with the little that I'm going to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, there will be a point or two that you will learn. We go back and encourage each other as business people and grow bigger through these trying times and become even better, creating employment, becoming greater leaders, not just bosses. Let me put it this way. Allow me to say these three statements. It's my closing statements, but I'm going to say them now. Number one, success is intentional. You have to intend to succeed for you to succeed. And which is what Brandon has done from the beginning. He intended to succeed regardless of his situation, regardless of his beginnings. He saw beyond whatever limitations that were placed in front of him. He intended to succeed. Give me before Augafigila where you're supposed to be. You are not. You haven't started. If it was a football match, I would say you were still 5 minutes into the game. Number two, what is not growing is dying. We go back and look into, number one, myself, people around me, my business, Everything that is happening around me, is it growing or is it dying? If it's not growing, we go back to the drawing board and make sure that it grows. Number 3, if you do what you always do, you will get what you always got. So that means you do it the very same way, year in, year out, year in, year out. Don't be surprised if you're not going anywhere. It's as good as I'm done, but I would like to touch base on this. Yes, I have been an optometrist for the past 21 years. And he's the one who made me realize some things. That it's not just J, Oti, you've been in it for 20 years. Now 21 years. Business are closing left, right, and center. People are struggling. For you to sustain yourself, there must be something good that you are doing. At that time, I was not paying attention to some of the things that I might have been doing that made it sustainable for such a long time. His words are always inspirational and encouraging. And you start seeing things in a different way, to say, I was holding back, I thought I'm the only one. Sometimes even during troubles, during problems in the business, challenges. And when he opens up his mouth, always, there's a light that comes out of him that makes you see things in a different eye. And I'm very grateful, Brandon, that 10 years, it feels like it was just yesterday. But I know there's been the ups and downs that people don't see. Every time, if there's a cake that is going to be served here tonight, we'll look into it. If there's no cake, it's okay. But when we see a cake, our favorite cake, we see the end product. We don't see what the baker went through, mixing ingredients, getting the kitchen dirty, making sure that the temperature of the oven is right. But the end product, this is what they see. They say, Brandon, he's up there, but they don't see what he goes through. They don't see the challenges that he faces. They don't see the sleepless nights that he goes through. With that being said, I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. But as people who wants to grow, who wants to be better, allow me to touch this, because business is people. And once we realize that business is people, then we will do something to make sure those people come back to us. There are 2 things that I always looked at, especially in my line of business. I'm not going to touch base on what I do and go to other places and all that. I'm grateful that in the past 21 years, God has done great things. That just to be the first and the only optometrist who's based in a very small town called Carolina, and he picks you up and you go and work and see people across the globe, go to the oil rigs where in the middle of the ocean, and you go and work as a young boy who I never thought that could happen. I see myself in him. 2 things that we should never let go as business owners as we move forward. That business is people, and it's through referral and reputation. We repeat with the customers, and the customer refers other people to us, and our businesses become sustainable. But if we don't do the best to those people, then we're not going to get referral, and we're not going to get reputation, and the next thing, business closes down. There has to be a value-added service that we offer. Allow me to share this quickly. There has to be excellence and efficiency in everything we do. Accountability and leadership is key, so that we can increase productivity and profit margins. That means we need to know the numbers. It's sad when you're running a project and you don't know the numbers. Great losses. There are people who are skilled, who knows what they're doing. They can offer service, but they don't know the numbers. And the business is closed down. We need to know and understand our MVPs, most valuable people, most valuable customers, clients. We must know those people. And We give them what matters to them, not what we think they like. There are times where we lose our clients and our businesses because we think my customer likes this, but that's not what they want. We go deeper into giving them what they want. As I close, you need a strong and mature team. And I know, Brandon, that for you to go to that 10 years, that's because there's been people behind you. There's been a team that has been behind you. For an example, I've got a lady that I started with 21 years ago. She's Delio. She's still there. Usis Maria was 2 years after that. She's still there. And I look back, I said, God, how did this come about? Most of my colleagues, they said, I fired somebody. They didn't come to work. They come with sick notes. They didn't give a lot of excuses. But there must be something that we are doing that is right. He always advises on that. There are two things that kills our business as far as the team is concerned. I'm talking about, I don't like using employees and stuff. It's team. Because there are the hit and runs. Those hit and runs, we call them the salary takers. They abuse everything in the company. They abuse everything that you're doing. Actually, they are the ones who first wants to crush you. As you grow, they think there's more money coming in. They start abusing resources. So we need to make sure that we develop a strong team that will be not the salary takers, not the hit and runs, but partners. Because partners, they are the salary makers. They make salary for your business so that it grows. As he is, we are talking about Brandon Tshabangu, but there's a big team around him. And we pray to God that he blesses you further, but with salary makers, people that will know. You don't have to call them to say, what are the targets? Have you reached the targets and so forth? They do it out of their own will because they know they have a very great leader. We need to make it a habit to always exceed expectations, not to just meet expectations. Let's give more than what our people need. And with that said, but whatever that it is that we do, we must make sure that is the best. And we are learning from you. May God bless you and your family and everything you touch and other projects that are still in the way. Like I said, the game has just begun, sir. Thank you so much.